welcome to our channel. My name is Sam.
My name is Ryan.
And today we are letting out our inner Harry Potter fan. I mean, we're outer Harry Potter fans too. We are fully out.
Off to the side, behind me, in front of me, above me, below me.
All around.
Yeah.
We are massive Harry Potter fans. Ryan, I mean, is like a tried and true. I really,
Yeah, I've read the books, you haven't.
As an adult. Yeah, no, I have not.
Yeah.
I've not read the books. I have the books. I haven't read them yet. We thought it would be a really fun challenge for ourselves to do a March Madness style bracket, pitting each Harry Potter movie up against each other.
We have put all of the movie titles in and randomly generated a bracket, so the ones that go head to head are completely random. We have the bracket here. Should we just dive right in and start doing this? This is gonna be really, really hard, I think.
This is.
All right.
But I think I'm ready for it.
All right.
What's first?
The first is Goblet of Fire versus Deathly Hallows Part 1. So Goblet of Fire obviously is the Triwizard Tournament. This is when Cedric Diggory dies. This is when Voldemort... My boy! That's my boy! Yep. It's when Voldemort really like comes back to power and things start to get very dark.
I can touch now.
That's my Daniel Radcliffe impression.
That was great.
Deathly Hallows Part 1 is sort of when the kids make their decision to not be in school, to hunt the Horcruxes. At the very end of the movie, Voldemort gets the Elder Wand, puts it up into the sky, and it's like, it's all gonna be terrible.
Oh, two great movies.
Two fantastic movies. I have a thought. Do you have a thought?
I do have a thought.
What's your thought?
I've always said that like my all-time favorite and like one that I watch a lot is Goblet of Fire. Like Goblet of Fire I think is my favorite Harry Potter movie, so that one's really sticking out to me here. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a great movie and I love the way it ends, but I think there's so much that happens in the Deathly Hallows movies that it's like, it kind of just feels like we're just getting through information. We're just getting through information and we're establishing things.
Yeah, it's expository. It's setting up the second part.
Yeah, and so that to me, like, I think Goblet of Fire is just a better movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that the purpose of Deathly Hallows Part 1 is to get you to Deathly Hallows Part 2. Yeah. And I think Goblet of Fire is just a fantastic standalone movie. And also when you're watching in sequence, I feel like Prisoner of Azkaban and then Goblet of Fire is sort of like the inflection point when it starts to get really, really good. Yeah. It seems pretty easy to say Goblet wins this one.
Goblet of Fire,
all right,
for sure.
Goblet of Fire wins the day. Winner, Goblet of Fire dinner.
Yay.
Okay.
Cedric.
Up next we have 2 and 3. Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. We just watched Chamber of Secrets last night with our friends.
We did, and it's interesting because Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban do have like very different vibes.
Right.
Like they go from like being like fun magical 12-year-olds to like
teenagers.
And
the tone, I mean, it's a new director, and the tone goes from kids movies to like teen movies, like young adult dark. Like it sort of goes from like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to Twilight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, truly.
In the same tone of what you just said, Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite book. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Chamber of Secrets is fantastic. I am a Gilderoy Lockhart stan.
Same.
If in a parallel universe I played that role. So like I love Chamber of Secrets, but I think Prisoner of Azkaban is better.
Prisoner of Azkaban is a great movie. I mean, Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah, we get Sirius for the first time.
We get Sirius Black. We get Lupin.
Yeah.
Like, and the entry world into like Hogwarts days of yore with like Sirius Black, Snape, Lupin.
The Marauders.
The Marauders map I think is fantastic, and the relationship that's built between Harry and Sirius is like...
And Harry and Lupin.
And Harry and Lupin.
And low-key Harry and Snape when Snape protects them from the werewolf. Yeah.
Oh god, okay, yeah, Azkaban, easy.
All right.
That one was an easy one. Chamber of Secrets is sweet, but...
Okay, Sorcerer's Stone versus Order of the Phoenix. So this is tricky because we have the beginning of it all when they're precious little cherub children.
Yeah.
And then like just sort of the middle. And Order of the Phoenix is a fantastic movie. We have Luna Lovegood, we have Professor Umbridge.
Oh,
you know,
God.
they're older. Again, it's that more like sort of teen young adult tone.
Rebellious.
Yeah, it's a lot darker. It's like fun in that regard. Is Order of the Phoenix Dumbledore's army where they all go into the room of requirement and train and stuff?
Yeah, because that's when Umbridge is there.
Yeah, so like a lot of great stuff happens in Order of the Phoenix. A lot of great stuff obviously happens in Sorcerer's Stone too, because it's setting up the whole thing and it's the very beginning. I mean, you're a wizard, Harry. Diagon Alley. The first time we go to Hogwarts, the OG Dumbledore.
You know,
Thrown in the dungeon!
I feel strongly that I'm gonna go with Order of the Phoenix because I know that Sorcerer's Stone is the beginning, but I think the reason that it's such a precious beginning is because of all the good that comes after it. And Order of the Phoenix is when we really see these characters like come into their own and decide like, well, I mean, I know like stuff happens before that, but like I feel like the like actual rebellious actions of like finding the room of requirement and like building an army. Like that's a really big step for them.
Yeah, no, it's a much bigger step than being 11 and working past the tests of every professor at the school to get into a tiny, tiny room with the most powerful dark wizard ever, besting him and rescuing a stone that gives you infinite life. I think we have a debate on our hands because I think Sorcerer's Stone is the superior movie here.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a movie, like not even just in the Potter world, but like you think it's a better movie?
Well, first of all,
Order of the
I don't
Phoenix?
think that you can separate the Potter world from the Potter movies.
I know.
I mean,
I think Order of the Phoenix is a better movie.
I don't.
Oh,
So
what do we
do
do?
about that?
Wait, I don't know that we've ever like done a tier list or a bracket where we've just like not agreed with each other. Do we just like wand, paper, scissors, or what?
Well, no, I think I think the game is we have to come to a consensus.
I just don't. I mean, I can see the point of like the Sorcerer's Stone is like where it all starts, and there are so many memorable and iconic things from the first movie, but.
What if we do this? What if we skip ahead to the next bracket and sort of use what we've picked to decide what's going to be a more interesting debate?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So then next we have Half-Blood Prince versus Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh,
so 6
God.
versus 8.
I love the Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood Prince is a great movie. I mean, I honestly think one of the best sequences in the entire franchise is Half-Blood Prince, when Harry takes the Felix Felicis or whatever it's called and is like feeling all lucky and stuff. I mean, that's like, I think Daniel Radcliffe is actually a fantastic actor, and time has proven that. But like, that is the first time that I remember being like, oh, like, he's not just like a cute kid who looked like Harry Potter. Like, he's actually great.
Yeah.
And that's just truly one of my favorite sequences in the the thing. But Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the end. It's the
end.
bow on
It's
the entire thing.
epic. And like the
And the
visuals
battle.
are insane. It's like, I mean, and we
This
also.
is so hard.
I mean, wait, isn't part 2 where Nagini, you know,
When Snape dies? Yeah.
like they're
No, Snape dies, the Battle of Hogwarts happens,
Yeah.
Harry meets Dumbledore in heaven.
Yeah.
Like, Voldemort is vanquished. Ralph Fiennes gives Tom Felton that improvised hug.
oh my god.
Like, Half-Blood
It's-
Prince is genuinely fantastic and it breaks my heart, but I
Yeah.
think Deathly Hallows Part 2
Yeah,
is
that's
better.
that sucks, but I see such a clear.
Because it's the final one.
It's the final
end.
one. It's
All right.
it's the climax of everything.
So Deathly Hallows Part 2 wins that one. So what's going to be more of an interesting debate? I think...
The beginning versus the end. I agree.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So Sorcerer's Stone...
I still love Order of the Phoenix.
No, I know, but...
I know. I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This is good too because we have the middle, the beginning, and the end represented in the semifinals here. Okay, so going back up, Goblet of Fire versus Prisoner of Azkaban, 4 versus 3.
My favorite versus your favorite.
Yeah.
You know what? I do love The Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's my like second favorite movie, and I think for the sake of this tournament, my vote is actually for The Prisoner of Azkaban because of the new characters we see, the thickening of the plot and the relationships, and like I think the lore just only gets deepened and more serious. I feel like the stakes become much higher for everyone involved.
There is definitely more serious in the third movie. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I love Prisoner of Azkaban. It's my favorite.
Goblet of Fire is still, I think, my favorite, but like Prisoner of Azkaban.
Great.
I think is the vote for this one.
Love that. I didn't even have to convince you.
No, I folded.
So first of all of them or last of all of them? That's what we're on here. Sorcerer's Stone versus Deathly Hallows. I don't know what to think about this.
I mean, how many years between the first movie and the last? Like, I know that there are 8 movies, but it was longer than that.
Yeah, I mean,
like with filming and post
basically
and
a
everything.
decade plus, right?
Yeah, it's so hard to compare the two, but I think I'm gonna go with Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I feel like I'm running out of reasons other than just like how I feel. But we have everyone in Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
It's the Hogwarts battle.
Yeah.
Like it is the ultimate visual representation of the wizarding world.
Yeah. No, I mean I think that's kind of what does it for me. Like the beginning has so little compared to the end because the end has 7 movies before it worth of context. Plus, again, I know that this isn't necessarily how this works, but just to get a little meta for a second, I think Sorcerer's Stone versus Prisoner of Azkaban is no contest, and Deathly Hallows Part 2 versus Prisoner of Azkaban is going to be really hard. So
Deathly Hallows wins that one.
yeah, so we're in the final round now. Prisoner of Azkaban versus Deathly Hallows
Part 2.
I mean, right. So basically right now we have a debate over like the movie that set the precedent for the entire tone of the franchise post Chamber of Secrets versus the way that they wrapped it all up. And I don't know if it's better to think about like, okay, what's wrong with these individual movies and pit that against each other? Or what's right about these individual movies and pit that against each other. I do also think that weighing them like sort of based on like impact or nostalgia isn't necessarily helpful. Like, well, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the last one, so that, you know, like to look at them a little bit more critically than that.
Yeah, for like what they are in the movies and in the context of it. Because yeah, I am such a like, I love it when people like in movies like come together, like the Avengers or like Endgame, and like Deathly Hallows, like the Hogwarts battle has that same sentiment of like coming together to stop an evil, and like that always resonates with me when I watch a movie. So the Hogwarts battle is one of my favorite moments in Harry Potter, but I feel like that's more of like a sentimental reaction or something, whereas like the performances in Prisoner of Azkaban are so great. And like, yes, the performances in Deathly Hallows Part 2, especially from Ralph Fiennes, aka Voldadaddy.
And Alan Rickman.
Like,
and our trio of heroes.
I know. Oh.
I mean, when you do it that way, when you go individually by performance, Deathly Hallows Part 2 blows it out of the water.
Especially with all of these characters that like you only
except
see
Ginny
like,
Weasley.
Well, like, yeah, no, she never does.
Who is like a main function of Deathly Hallows Part 2 and is just garbage. I'm sorry, but oh my god.
I think I just did it for myself.
Okay.
My vote is for Deathly Hallows Part 2, almost solely because I just remembered, one, Neville's speech, but then also when Neville has the Sword of Gryffindor. I think that moment is just so great that it's like...
Well, but again, if we're going on individual moments, then Half-Blood Prince should win.
We're not talking...
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're going on individual moments, like...
But I think...
This is about the whole movie, not a single thing the movie contains.
But because the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the end, it's comprised of, like, every scene is an important moment. You know what I mean? Like, every scene is a pivotal moment because they only had so much time to, like...
But I would argue that every scene in Prisoner of Azkaban is a pivotal moment because it is establishing the tone for the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, but it just like cinematically and like tone, like I get that it was the pivotal shift. It's hard discussing discussing two things that like I love both of these movies. What do we do? How do we do this?
I also just, and this probably isn't fair, but I feel myself resisting Deathly Hallows Part 2 because it feels so obvious to be like, the last one's the best one, because it's closer to the end.
Yeah.
Like, whatever is closest to the end, it's freshest in our mind.
All the money was thrown at
All
it.
the money, the studio support, the culture of fans, and the maturity of an ensemble of once child actors and better CGI.
Yeah.
So it's like Deathly Hallows Part 2 is obviously the superior movie by those standards because it was later in history. The reason that I am vouching for Prisoner of Azkaban is because it is full of surprises. Deathly Hallows is not full. Deathly Hallows is exactly what it's supposed to be. Prisoner of Azkaban could have been all of them in robes and running around and being little wizard kids, and you know, it could have been very fantastical, but they said no, we're gonna make this into a teen movie and we're gonna put them in hoodies and we're gonna make them dirty and we're gonna make it real. Deathly Hallows, there's no surprises. It's like, yep, I remember that, yep, I remember that, yep, I remember that. Prisoner of Azkaban, the movie, is not Prisoner of Azkaban, the book. They took a lot of risks, and those risks are the reason why the rest of the franchise looks the way that it looks. I feel like that is more definitive of the not only the superiority of this movie, but the entirety of the franchise, versus Deathly Hallows just doing exactly what it needed to do to tie everything up. Deathly Hallows plays exactly like the book reads.
Wow. If you were running for president just based on that, I would vote for you.
Well, thank you, Sam.
You completely convinced me. And I think the biggest thing that convinced me was like, because I know you're talking about like,
I'm so happy I love Prisoner of Azkaban.
I know what you meant was like there are surprises in the movie versus the book, but I feel like there are so many more reveals in the plot of Prisoner of Azkaban, which make it incredibly exciting to watch.
Like the Prisoner of Azkaban is you see the same movie twice because they go back into like that twist,
and it's so clever. Prisoner of Azkaban takes the cake.
Yes. Prisoner. I hate that they don't give.
And they don't put it there at the end. Do it in post.
I will do it in post. Boom. There
Prisoner
it is.
of Azkaban is officially our top Harry Potter movie.
Yes.
It feels good.
So it does feel good. And you know what? I feel like we really earned that. I feel like we really landed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, you articulated your feelings for it so well, but I also just think like, I do think it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Yay! Viewer subscribio.
Not viewer subscribio.
Viewer subscribio.
It's subscribio, not subscribio.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What is your favorite Harry Potter movie? Who would you have liked to seen come out on top at the end of this video? Comment whatever you want. It's not going to change what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Love to you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, Prisoner of Azkaban!